Antarctica, the continent known for its frozen glaciers, noisy penguins, the beautiful aurora, and anime girls? What's up, my boba buddies? Sit back and prepare yourselves, because today I'm gonna explain how the anime Sora Yorimo Toi Basho, or Yorimoi, created a new standard in Moe Anime. Before I continue, do me a favor and click that subscribe button if you want to see more anime related content like this. It really does help me out with YouTube's algorithm. Alright, back to the video. If you know me, you know that I really love slice of life anime, so much so that I even made a video about it. Go check it out, link in the description down below. But as much as I love slice of life, there's one subgenre in particular that always stood out to me, that being Moe Anime. But what exactly is Moe, you might ask? Well, it's the feeling you get when you see this, or this, or this, or this, or this. Familiar? Moe refers to feelings of affection, adoration, devotion, and excitement felt towards characters that appear in manga, anime, and video games. Characters that elicit feelings of Moe are called Moe characters. Basically, it's the feeling you get when you see a cute anime character who doesn't quite qualify to be a proper waifu or husbando. Now, I'm not a stranger to Moe Anime. In fact, I've watched quite a bit of it. Between the adorable and pretentious everyday lives of K-on's Hokago Tea Time, light but heartfelt moments in Tamako Market, or silly but amusing topics and interactions in Lucky Star, Moe Anime has more times than not put a smile on my face. The simple concept of cute girls doing cute things with no particular goal in mind had me convinced that this was peak entertainment. It instilled a feeling of comfort and warmth, so simple yet so brilliantly manufactured. But the more I watched, I noticed that much of Moe Anime was just that. Cute girls doing cute things. And this pattern remained the same throughout almost every Moe anime I've come across. With no ultimate goal or final objective being common ground throughout shows in the genre, Moe Anime started to feel kind of one-dimensional. My interest of Moe Anime unfortunately started to fade. And I might have given up on Moe Anime altogether too, had I not found this absolute gem of a series. A place further than the universe, or Sora Yorimo Toi Basho. Initially, I thought, well, this is just gonna be one of those shows where cute anime girls do cute anime things. And while I wasn't entirely wrong, I feel inclined to say I sure didn't expect the show to measure up against some of my most favorite anime of all time. Hell, it became one of my most favorite anime of all time. And while Yorimoi does have many things that make it scream Moe, it's so much more than that. It's a story with the themes of maturity, loneliness, and forgiveness with an emphasis on friendship. We follow our four protagonists as they search for parts of themselves that they seem to be missing and struggle to overcome the hardships that are holding them back in their respective lives. Mari is a girl with huge ambitions. Afraid of wasting away her youth, she seeks the chance to step out of her comfort zone only to be thwarted by her lack of resolve and bad habit of second-guessing herself. Shirase is a determined and strong-willed high schooler who made it her foremost goal to travel to Antarctica in order to get closure of her mother's death and to understand why she was so fascinated with it. Hinata is energetic and sociable, but suffers from trust issues as a result of her experiences with bullying during her traumatic past in high school. A past that led to her isolation from her peers, and ultimately choosing to be homeschooled. Yuzuki is a polite and elegant child actress. Her fame has caused her to question the genuineness of the people she's met. The one thing she's always wanted was to make friends. Friends that she can be herself around. Friends that don't only see her for her status as a celebrity, but genuine ones. The obstacles that all the girls are trying to overcome can only truly be recognized once they realize that the key element they're missing is each other. A group of supportive friends that push you to the limit, tell you your flaws as they are, and pick you up when you're down. Friends that make each other stronger and a better person. Every girl has aspects that complement each other and make up for the shortcomings of one another. It's a common theme amongst all the characters' story arcs. Without each other, they struggle to grow, and I enjoyed every single second of watching them figure this out for themselves. In conventional Moe anime, character development isn't typically seen as the driving force of the show, as the emphasis in Moe media lies within daily lives of characters and how those characters can turn a seemingly ordinary scene into a silly and lighthearted one. Yorimoi differentiates itself as it takes character development and redefines how it affects the whole dynamic of plot progression altogether. Like in any anime, we watch our characters as they go through their highs and lows, fail and succeed, lose and win, cry and laugh. Old personalities gradually mold into new ones, and weak characters grow into strong ones. But even as we continue watching further into the anime, and think we've started to really understand these characters, we the audience are constantly being proven wrong, and surprised by newer sides and faces that come to light with the characters we thought we knew. It makes us realize how little we actually know about them. There are so many more underlying aspects and layers to them than what meets the eye. I've never watched a series that exudes itself so heavily through its extravagant peaks and emotional climaxes. And the best part, it happens literally every episode. Moments that are usually left in big reveals, end of seasons, or major developments in other anime are a regular thing here, accompanied by beautiful and fitting music scores, grand crescendos timed perfectly with the delivery of powerful messages. Every climax feels like an explosion of emotions. And even though you know it's gonna happen, it never fails to bring you to the verge of tears. I've said this earlier, but Yorimoy is the only moe-style anime that has a definitive goal in mind when telling its story, an aspect that your conventional moe lacks. It's a huge breath of fresh air, and honestly without it, the show would feel like yet another generic title in the genre. In order to have a good story, you need to have characters that are filled with potential. This show perfectly encapsulates that fundamental principle in its enormous and methodically crafted array of characters. And I'm not just talking about our main girls. There are countless supporting characters with arguably just as much profoundness introduced throughout the series. Our understanding of the main characters make it extremely easy to sympathize with members of the supporting cast. Take Jin Todo for example, a friend of Shirase's late mother, Takako. We learned how she and Takako formed their own group to explore Antarctica in the past, an adventure that mirrors the ones our protagonists are currently on. How she's filled with regret of losing her friend during the trip, how Takako's last words forever haunt her in her memories, and how her guilt strains the relationship between herself and Shirase. I could make a whole video going into the supporting cast alone. It's kind of insane how much depth and backstory of its characters this anime manages to fit within just 13 episodes. Along with its unparalleled characters, Yorimoy's use of dynamic backgrounds is something unique only to this anime. While many shows simply use their backgrounds as a means to establish a setting appropriate to a story, Yorimoy uses backgrounds as a way to enhance its storytelling and emphasize character growth. The most prominent example of this is in episode 2, when Mari, Shirase, and Hinata go to a red light district in Tokyo as part of a plan to infiltrate an upcoming exhibition to Antarctica. After being caught by members of the Antarctic exploration team, they run from them in a frantic attempt to escape. We see Mari running through the night streets, feeling as though her life is in motion, a rush of excitement and an unfamiliar feeling that anything could happen. Buildings and blurs of city lights rush past her as she runs, and the background follows her as she sprints across a bridge. The movement of the buildings and lights in contrast with Mari feels as though she's faster than she actually is, but suggests at the feeling of breaking free from her normal boring routine, a feeling she's always desired to feel. This brings me to the next point. The anime's ability to dish out its light-hearted comedy scenes while simultaneously balancing the heavier emotionally grounded ones is truly remarkable. Countless times I've caught myself laughing and smiling at the silly and carefree interactions between our characters. Likewise, this anime is the cause of many tears and empty tissue boxes. And I'm not above telling you that this anime made me cry like a child. Along with every emotionally driven scene were selections of captivating music from the show's soundtrack, beautifully illustrated backgrounds, and hauntingly awe-striking voiceovers. Looking back in retrospect, there are a million details that I've underappreciated about this show. For example, the anime's usage of water, alluding to Mari's growth and means to step out of her comfort zone. The underlying theme of a bond between mother and daughter depicted throughout Shirase's character arc. The pent-up frustration that Hinata has as a result of her disheartening time in high school and having no outlet for these emotions. Yuzuki's simple but profound desire to have a group of people she can call friends. And the idea of accepting the past, forgiving oneself, and moving on as a stronger individual, seen in the adult characters of the supporting cast. All of this is bound together and wrapped nicely, presented as a compelling story about friendship. Yorimoy is a story that entertains the far-fetched and unbelievable goal of traveling to Antarctica. A premise that is so outlandish, but because of its superb storytelling and tremendous attention to detail behind every aspect of this anime, becomes more and more conceivable as the story goes on. It's a story filled with motifs, lessons, and a multitude of mature themes that all of us can relate to some extent. In terms of Moe Anime, this anime's gotta be the greatest that I've ever seen, and dare I say solidifies itself as a new standard in all things Moe. Now, if Moe isn't your thing, go check out this video where I talk about this underrated isekai fantasy anime. If you enjoyed watching this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and tune in for more anime related content like this. This has been Boba Soba, and I'll see you in the next one.